Hey everyone, Michael Anthony here. Van Halen, Chickenfoot, Sammy in the Circle. But anyway, you're listening to the only podcast that is dedicated to breaking down the entire Van Halen catalog one track at a time. And the podcast will rock. Ow!
Hello, baby!
What is up, all you rockers, rockettes, and everything in between? You have joined us for a new edition of And the Podcast Will Rock. Welcome back to the show, all of our eager and very enthusiastic crowd, I would say, our audience. We love our audience, very enthusiastic, keeps the chatter going. We love hearing about it. Got a lot to talk about tonight. But if it's your first time here, let me break it down. We are the show that dives into the catalog and discography of one of the greatest rock and roll bands of all time, Van Halen. And we do it one track at a time, nearing the end, I might add. But I am your co-host, Mark Kamier. With me, as always, Corey Morissette. And I know Corey is ready to just get right into all of this because we've got a lot to talk about, don't we, Corey?
We've got a ton to talk about. I'm just getting off high. I just saw Kiss for the second time here a couple nights ago. Had a wonderful time. Also, I got to meet up with a good friend of ours, fellow podcaster extraordinaire, Kevin Brown.
Kevin Brown.
At a Denny's in Saskatoon. I have photo proof of said meeting. There it is right there. me and Kevin. He's just a wee fella. They're always after his Lucky Charms, yeah. But we had a great breakfast at Denny's, and a really super terrific guy and a fantastic podcaster. Everybody, go check out Kevin, all of his fantastic shows. He's lurking in the chat here tonight because everyone is just so excited. We're following up an amazing guest last week in Kelsey with another amazing guest here tonight. Mark Kamier, take it away.
Well, we often get told on many occasions that we're not experts on the band Van Halen, and we are not rock historians. Why should anyone even listen to us? And my rebuttal to that is, well, we never claimed to be experts. We never claimed to be historians. You're listening just because we're fucking entertaining. That's why you're listening. However, every once in a while, we like to pull in a ringer, and usually those ringers are the experts. And who better to be the expert of all things Van Halen than our guest and frequenter of the show, honoree panelist Eric Senich from the Van Halen news desk himself. Welcome back to the show, Eric. Good to have you.
Guys, great to be back. I see Mark's got some nice Christmas lights behind him.
No, those are just mood lights.
Mood lights. Oh, it looks like Christmas lights. Corey's got the Kiss shirt. That's cool, man. You and Kevin met up. That's cool.
Yeah, I couldn't convince him to come to the Kiss show. He's definitely not a fan, but we met up the next day. I gotta tell you, Kiss takes a lot of shit. They still put on a hell of a show. We had a great time.
I would hope so. Yeah,
took my 15-year-old daughter and she loved it. She only knew 2 songs, but sang along with those 2 songs as loud as she could and had a fantastic time. So awesome. If you get a chance, they only got like a dozen shows left. They're going to stream their last one on a pay-per-view, but I would highly recommend everybody check out Kiss.
Look, they've claimed this before like 15 different times. It's like, this is it. This is our farewell tour.
Here's the thing. I think it's the farewell tour for Gene and for Paul. Will they play again? Absolutely. They're already talking about having Kiss tribute bands in different sectors of the world. So Japan will get a Japanese Kiss. America will have an American one. Canada will have a Canadian one. So the Kiss brand is never going to die. There's going to be tons of, but like the Kiss Cruise, Gene and Paul are going to play. They'll do one. Sure. Maybe they'll do the fucking Sphere. Who knows? But for an actual touring entity for these 4, I think this is it.
They could keep it going, really. I mean, it's because of their gimmick, because of their look. I mean, it lends itself to be, replicated and like keep the legacy alive, if you will. And then you could replace members with newer members. Hell, if Gene really wants to, his hubris knows no bounds. He could get his son Nick to take over his spots, dress him up like the Demon, have him on bass and vocals, and and on and on and on it goes. Just judging from the mindset of Gene Simmons and how capitalistic he is, it wouldn't shock me if that's what happens with the the Kiss brand, as you say. So though they are faring thee well finally for the last time, at least for Gene and Paul, this won't be the end of Kiss. You can never get rid of Kiss. Kiss is forever. Which I wish we could say the same about our beloved Van Halen. Unfortunately, not so much. However, I am going to throw it to Eric because it seems as if there is a little bit of steam left within the tank of the Van Halen engine. Can you let us know? We're going to go straight to the source. We usually cut to Corey for Van Halen news, and he gets it right from the news desk. You're here. I'm just going to ask you, man. Tell us what is going on. What is the big thing happening in Van Halen news right now?
This is a good week for Van Halen fans, especially if you're a Sammy era fan. Sammy announced the Best of All Worlds tour with Joe Satriani on guitar, and he's got Michael Anthony with him. He's got Joe Satriani, and he's got Jason Bonham on drums. Essentially, it's Chickenfoot, but instead of Chad Smith on drums, it's Jason Bonham. But the other big difference is that the set list is going to be really primarily Van Halen. I think maybe five or six songs non-Van Halen related. Sammy solo, maybe a Chickenfoot song, but most of it is going to be Van Halen. And they announced the news on Howard Stern yesterday, and they did play a handful of songs. I just put those up a few hours ago, short and sweet. Just put the videos up. You guys can judge for yourselves. Now, at this point now, they haven't done a whole lot of rehearsing. So I think even Sammy said no rehearsing at all prior to the show. So, but give it a listen. I mean, this is great news. And I know Sammy was teasing this announcement, and Michael Anthony had been. They kept saying there's going to be something big for the Van Halen fans that's coming, and this is it. So the tour, the itinerary is on VHND.com. They are coming around my way. I don't know if they're going to be in Nashville, Mark.
Yeah, I think they are in Nashville, Bridgestone Arena.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll be here.
Yeah.
So
they're coming to my way, Bridgeport, Connecticut, July 24th. Canada, though, nothing yet, Corey. Hopefully,
Toronto, but we're already planning I'm planning a family vacation to Toronto. Ironically enough, that same week that Sammy's going to be playing there. I just rearranged the dates when I saw the Toronto date drop. I've already been in contact with the Bo hosts from the Bogus Otis show.
Cool.
About maybe hanging out with them at said show. But yeah, tickets went on sale today. The pre-sale. It's selling really well in Toronto already. I thought about maybe flying to Nashville and catching it with Mark. I thought about maybe flying to Vegas and catching it with Scott Haskin. And I thought about taking a family vacation to Toronto. So I still haven't really settled on which of the three options I'm going to do, but I got to go and see this show. You're talking, 20-some Van Halen songs with Joe Satriani, Jason Bonham, Sammy Hagar, Michael Anthony. Like that's bucket list type shit right there. So I'm definitely going to try and catch the show.
Yes, they're talking Finish What You Started, 5150, which is one of the all-time classic non-hits from the Van Hagar era. Best of Both Worlds, Pound Cake, right now, good enough. He's going to do Eagles Fly.
Even some Dave stuff.
More.
Yeah.
Well, Mike's going to do the Dave stuff. And they've invited Dave. They invited Dave and they invited Al. And we'll see. But hey, this is as good as it's interesting because Satriani was planned for the tribute tour with Alex, and then it was supposed to be, I think, Sam and Dave. They were trying to put something together, or maybe it was just Dave at the time. But yeah, I mean Satriani,
Yeah, I was gonna say
you're right, Jeff. The Mean Street intro, Satriani was, but that just shows you how great Eddie is. Satriani was kind of struggling with Mean Street. If you want to, you could play it.
They did. You did mention that they hadn't rehearsed yet, so give Joe a break because chances are he just played it on a whim because the song was in his head. So he's like, I could probably look at my fretboard and figure it out. If he didn't get it perfect on the first try, we can forgive him for that. It's Joe Satriani. Yeah. Not to bring the mood down because this is exciting news. This is really cool. And I obviously, since they're coming to Nashville, I have an obligation to go to this show. Like, why wouldn't I go? So that's gonna be fun. But I want to put it to you guys out there and lurkers, you too, chime in. Is this possibly? You did mention, Eric, that they invited Dave out, they invited Al out, and we'll see. Do you think this is in poor taste of doing this. Just on, I guess, on the side of Sammy, because it seems like this is, Sammy putting this thing together. And with Al being pretty determined to just not do Van Halen anymore, and likely probably just not play anymore. We don't know. But do you think putting this show together and doing this era and even some of the Dave era without Eddie there, without Al there, you think this is in bad taste in any sort of way?
I don't see it that way. I guess it all depends on how you look at it. A lot of the comments from people at VHND is, "Oh, this is just a money grab for Sammy." I feel like this is just something that he's doing it for the fans, Chaz. I think he's doing it for the fans because I think he gets at this point now that he's given up on the possibility of an official tribute that's going to happen. And there's a demand now for Van Halen because Eddie's gone, and a lot of people wanted this tribute, whether it be a tour or at least a show or two, and it didn't happen. So I just think he's doing it. He doesn't need the money. We know that. He's doing it because I think it's the right thing to do. It's either this or nothing at all. And Unfortunately, you're not going to get the full Dave experience. You're going to get some songs with Mike. But to me, hey, let's do it. I mean, if people don't want to go, they don't have to go. But I think from what you're saying, Corey, the ticket sales are already solid. I would think they're going to do really well.
Yeah, not even on general on sale yet. And I was just checking some of the pre-sales, and they're doing really well. You mentioned the full Dave experience. The full Dave experience nowadays is the shit that killed Elvis. So I'm fine with not getting the fucking full Dave. But I think I found that the clip here, if you want to listen to a little bit of Joe Satriani trying to play.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. And then they go into 50.
That we all just go every time Eddie would play that, and every time Joe plays it,
This is impossible to play, right?
Impossible.
Crazy. For all of you that aren't that familiar with it,
That's nuts.
Yeah, look, is it perfect like Eddie would play it? No, it's not. And they're straight up telling you it's impossible to do this. But it's Joe Satriani. We can give him the benefit of the doubt that perhaps before this tour takes off, there will be extensive rehearsals. He's not the kind of guy who's going to half-ass anything, but certainly not a project like this playing Van Halen songs. Come on. Give him a little bit of credit.
I was just thinking too. I'm sure Satriani's got a thick skin. He's been around long enough. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him. He's going to have people that are certainly going to praise him, but he's also going to have a lot of eyes on him in ears, and you're like, oh, let's see what he can do. And no, it's not going to sound anything like Eddie. He's going to have to deal with that, but I think he'll be fine. I'm curious to see how Vic Johnson handled that news from Sammy. I'm sure he understands. Vic's more suited for the type of material that Sammy does, non-Van Halen related. However, he does a good job with the Eddie songs. But Satriani is the guy. He's the guy. Like somebody was just saying that, or Vi, or Nuno.
Kevin Brown, big fan of Phil X.
Phil X. Who, by the way, Kevin, did you know? I just interviewed Rick Emmett from Triumph, and Phil X was in Triumph.
Was he in Triumph?
Post Rick Emmett years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right on. There you go. So
weird.
Big
stuff.
news. Yeah, it is. It's very interesting. I'm glad they're doing it. It's a lot like it's kind of like the Pantera situation happening right now, where you've got two guys that are the two remaining original guys are out on tour, and then they've got well-known musicians taking in the spot. Zakk Wylde taking in for Dimebag Darrell, and there were a little bit of criticisms about that. Not so much for Zakk Wylde and his ability to play Dimebag Darrell's guitar riffs, because if you've ever heard Zakk Wylde, he doesn't have a problem playing anything Pantera has ever done. Also, he was very good friends with Dimebag Darrell. They have good sensibilities. The the biggest question everybody had was, can Phil still can he still sound the same in Pantera? And I'm sure a lot of people are asking, is Steve Vai is Satriani going to play as good as Eddie? I'm sure this little clip here didn't solidify a lot of faith in people out there, but also remember, Satriani's been at this for a very long time. He's going to be fine. The biggest question I would have is what's Mikey going to sound like doing Dave's songs? Like, that's cool. I am very much into that idea. I am very, very much looking forward to that. I'm not worried about Sammy. Most of the songs will probably be a step, maybe half a step lower than they usually are in the original key on the recording, because he's in his 70s and, you know, he's still singing as well as he can. But time waits for no one. Age comes for us all. And, the vocal cords suffer burden over time. So that's, I think, where people are really going to be like, all right, impress me, bro, with Satriani. And then, Sammy is Sammy. But I, for one, am very, very eager to hear the Dave era songs with Mikey, hear him do it, because now finally, people, I think, will give him the attention that I think he has been lacking, and he rightly deserves. But we're fanboys of Michael Anthony on this show, so Mikey, take that for what you will.
One quick thing I want to add is, I was thinking about this because I'm a huge Grateful Dead fan, and I know there's no replacing Eddie. That's obvious, but I think it is kind of a bummer because I think any band you could just continue. Look at Leonard Skinner at this point now. It's just
one guy, right?
It's just Johnny Van Zandt, who's not even in the original lineup, but he's Ronnie's brother. But like what the Dead did, they didn't call it Grateful Dead, but it was Dead and Company. You could do those things, and clearly people still want it. The demand is there. There's a young generation of fans who are. I mean, I've gone to a few of those Dead shows, and he was like teenagers there. So I think that it would be great, considering we have everybody, willing and able to do it. It's just Eddie's not there. Get it. But I think you could still continue with the Van Halen name in some way, shape, or form. The music's never going to die. The music will never die. So you can have Jimi Hendrix experiences. You have those tours where you get, various guys coming. But I mean, John Mayer did, and I mean, Grateful Dead, Jerry Garcia is essentially the sound of the Grateful Dead. And he passes away, and they were able to do it in different incarnations. But like John Mayer, it's pretty damn good. That's just those are my 2 cents. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to see this music die. I just want to see it. Yeah. You could keep the name alive.
Well, I don't think they want to see it die either.
No, Foreigners out
Van
there right
Halen
now. I don't
Company
think,
or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
you don't have to call it Van Halen, but
Foreigners touring with no original members right now.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Right.
On their farewell tour.
And, by the way, Loverboy is opening for this tour.
Yes.
And Mike Reno's voice is kicking ass. I haven't seen those. I've never seen him live, but I hadn't seen anything that they've done recently. And I went to YouTube, and he could still. I mean, he's nailing the high notes. I was trying to remember the song. Do 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 do. What's that song?
Oh,
Turn Me Loose.
Turn Me Loose.
Yeah, and he hit the high note on that.
Yep.
Yeah, so it'll be fun.
Well, right on. So that is exciting news. I mean, that's probably the most exciting of Van Halen news, say for Mammoth with Wolfie. But like as far as the past goes, like retro Van Halen news goes, like this is it's either this or nothing at all. This is the best I think it's gonna get. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it is the best of all worlds. I think it very, very much can be. We just have to be open to it. The fans have to be open to it. I know that there's going to be a huge percentage of Van Halen fans that are absolutely not going to go on this tour because it's not Dave. Dave's not there, or they're not going to go because it's like, well, there's no Van Halen members in this band right now. It's like, okay, fine, but but it's a tribute, you know, it's a tribute. Sammy's not doing. I mean, we've been talking a lot these past couple weeks apparently about Sammy's ego, which is hilarious to me because I would have never anticipated that's the one whose ego we need to talk about all the time in a band with like where we're talking about David Lee Roth all the time, and sometimes the not so great stories about, you know, Eddie and Alex and how their treatments with some members, but never would have anticipated Sammy would be the one that we're talking about has ego problems. And look, he might have an ego, but show me a rock musician, a frontman at that doesn't have an ego, and I will show you just a bold-faced lie. Okay,
Yeah, healthy ego. You got to
healthy ego.
Get up on stage.
You know, I bring that up just because like some people are saying like this tribute is like a cash grab. It's not. I don't think it's a cash grab at all. I mean, is there good money to be made? Sure, because look who's involved. But this is, as you say, like Sammy's doing this for the fans. Sammy doesn't have to do this. He is in no position to. He's not obligated to remotely do anything Van Halen related if he doesn't want to. He's been striving pretty great since then. He's fine. That tequila business is booming. I think. I don't know, but. Let's just take it for what it is.
He sold it for like 80 mil. 80
right.
million.
He's fine. It's cash grab. I think not. This is because this is a man who is not ready to stop touring quite yet. He knows the fans want to hear him do some past Van Halen era stuff. It was only a matter of time. And it also, call it a bad timing or the right timing, who knows, but timing was absolutely, I'm sure, a factor into all of this. So let's just celebrate that we're getting it. So check your local listings.
Sammy's got such a great attitude. I think you should be looking to that as inspiration because the Stones fucking blew my mind. Hackney Diamonds is unbelievable. Like I can't believe at the age of 80.
Yeah,
you know, so you have to look at it from a different perspective. I mean, it's inspiration as we get older. You know, Sammy's living his life, man. He's not sitting home, you know, staring at the fucking wall. He's living life to the fullest. So it's just funny because he's always got such a great attitude. And I know he's had his battles. Of course, he
sure.
It's just, we can get into that all night. But
the rock star living the rock star lifestyle. Yeah. He's not ready to let it go. And to his credit, he can still pull it off. So why should he? So that's
hell yes.
He'll get all the support from me, and cannot wait to see that happen. Also, can't wait for Extreme to make their way around my neck of the woods, because I am going to display that Apologies to Gary shirt proudly.
Yes.
And I just really hope he sees it. And I really hope there's a lot of other people in the audience in Nashville that are wearing the shirt as well. I want my dream to come true. We need an army.
Beautiful Girls. Make sure you record that for Kevin.
Yes, please.
Beautiful Girls. Make sure.
It'll be a selfie, a video selfie of me, like just kind of like shaking my head slowly, you know, pan the camera down to the shirt. Apologies to Gary, but then go like, I don't know. I'm not apologizing for this.
Kevin just hates that song.
It's not in his defense. It's not good.
I tell you what, to change the subject here, so we've been talking about this for about 20 minutes. We have a new girl song. It's by David Lee Roth. It's called High Fashion Girl.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't.
You'll never know how much I really love you. Oh, you'll never know how much I
You go, Dave.
really care.
Here we go.
She's my high fashion girl.
It kind of sounds like Beautiful Girls by Extreme.
She's my high fashion girl.
All right. Well, yeah, David Lee Roth released another song from the 07 sessions, dubbed the California Sessions. This pairs with Somewhere Over the Rainbow Bar and Grill, Low Res Sunset, Giddy Up, Alligator Pants, Pointing at the Moon, Nothing Could Have Stopped Us Back Then, Mandabala, and the recently released The Shit That Killed Elvis. Mark, I can tell you're a big fan.
I will say it certainly sounds like a step up from The Shit That Killed Elvis. That's for sure.
You gotta love it. Nothing Could Have Stopped Us Back Then anyway.
That's a good one. Yep,
that's
absolutely.
like damn good, the sequel.
Yep.
There are some good moments. I love Pointing at the Moon. I love.
It wasn't bad until the chorus. Scott says Chaz is a big fan of how David sounds. He sounds better on this track than on most of the other ones, so I'll give him that.
I think the chorus was the saving grace so far from what I heard. Whereas the Dave coming in on that verse was just like, you're not finding the pitch at all, dude. Where you at? But I digress. It's fine.
I'm just going to walk around every day, just going up to strangers. Manda bala.
You should absolutely do that.
Face.
Yeah. and share with us the progress on how that goes. Yeah. I saw Chaz comment that shit that killed Elvis is fun. If that is your idea of fun, I have a really nice thing called Mary Jane
Fun.
to show you.
Yeah, it's fun. Like a stroke would be fun. Like,
Yeah, if you consider getting kicked in the face with a golf cleat fun.
surely the shitter killed Elvis.
Sure,
there you go.
It did. He sat down and left the building. So, but that's another podcast. I'm sure there's another
Hey,
podcast out
let
there.
that be a lesson to you out there, kids. Don't blow out your O-ring. Take it easy when you're doing that kind of stuff because it's the shitter that killed Elvis. Absolutely.
Yeah,
The All brand.
Don't force it.
All
Let it happen.
Yeah.
But there it is.
But-
So, yeah.
We digress. We got one more big story I wanted to mention. We're going to throw it back to Eric Sanchez. This one's kind of an important one. Eric, tell us about a special auction that's happening.
Yeah, that was really. I wanted to come on and thanks guys for having me on. Just to talk about this because there's an auction. There was a guitar that Eddie gifted to Jason Becker. Jason was David Lee Roth's guitarist on Unruly Enough. Lou Gehrig's disease, diagnosed with that, I think, in 1991, and it's an amazing story. I mean, Jason's still with us, and he's had a guitar that was gifted to him by Eddie from 1996. Eddie went to his house in late August of '96, and there's video of it that you can see. And Jason's had this guitar for a long time, and he has a friend, assistant, Stephen Correa, who's just the nicest guy, and he is so devoted to Jason. He sets up a lot of the business dealings with Jason, sets up a lot of these. He's pretty much done everything A to Z on this auction, which is through Guernsey's. And it's going up for auction in December. So you can go to vhnd.com for more info and the link to Guernsey's. A nice picture that Corey's showing there of the guitar. And again, that was 96. In the video, you hear Eddie, I think he's playing Meanwhile's Magic, a little bit of that. It's a really cool video. So you could check that out. And the Guernsey's auction, I believe, is in December. Everything's on the site. I'm hoping to have Steven, I'm going to talk to him. We're going to do a video where because he still has the guitar with him. It's going to be with him for a little bit longer, and then he's going to hand it off to Guernsey's for the auction. But I wanted to have Steven on and have a video and put it up on the desk because Steven's got so many great stories about Jason and his family. His parents are just unbelievable people. And Jason communicates through his eyes. I think we talked about this before, but his father developed a system. So he basically blinks his eyes, and then his parents are able to communicate to whoever's in the room what he's saying. And it's just phenomenal. And Jason he writes music, composes music. And I said this, I was talking to Steven last week, and I said, what is Jason's, day-to-day life like? What's his attitude? He said, he's got the greatest attitude. Like, he's always upbeat, looks forward to every day. And he said he's a huge San Francisco 49ers fan. He said, when the Niners are on, you don't bother Jason. So, but he's got a lot of stories. He's got some stories about Eddie that people don't even know about. Like when Eddie first went over there, I think in that August day when he saw Jason, I think he said to Jason's parents, hey, can I talk to you guys just, in the other room? And they said, sure, and they get into the other room, and Eddie just broke down, like tears coming down. Like he didn't realize it was as bad as it was. And went back in there, just kind of got his courage up, went back in there and just hung with Jason. You'll see it in the video. It's amazing. So check it out. If you or someone has the money to bid on this guitar, go for it. And Jason's actually not doing this for medical funding, which is what I was thinking as well. He actually told Steven, he's like, I just want people to have it. I just want people to have it because he said it's just sitting there collecting dust, and I want people to know how great of a guy Eddie was, and I just want to share this with people.
That's
And
awesome.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
VHND.com, you guys go check that out. Yeah, that's a really, really awesome story. So yeah.
He's in his 50s now.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And he's had struggles. He's had times where they had to get him to the hospital, pneumonia, whatever it is, and he bounces back. It's absolutely amazing.
That's the power of rock music. That's
right.
what that is. The healing tones of Van Halen. That's what it's all about. It's about the healing. It's about the hurting and the healing. But there it is. So check that out, you guys. Again, VHND. We always plug the news desk, but plug them extra hard because we have a lot of news tonight. But that one especially, go check that out. And if you got the means, then donate. I think that's a good cause. I think it's a cool cause. It's bring a little bit of smiles and joy out in the world. We need it. We are sorely lacking in such a thing. So. If you don't mind, boys, I think we should head on over to the poll because lots to talk about over there. I had a feeling, I did have a theory. I'll be honest with you. I tweeted out that I had a theory of how I thought the voting was going to go. I can't remember what that theory was, so I'm just going to assume that that theory was incorrect. But last week we talked about You Really Got Me, the lovely, the amazing cover song that is pretty much solidified as is it Van Halen's song? Technically no, but yes it is. This version is absolutely Van Halen's. Unfortunately nobody thinks about the King's version of it anymore. Sorry, Kevin Brown.
But Kevin Brown does. Get to his manifesto.
Yeah, that's true. That's a perfect segue. But You Really Got Me was up for What Dreams Are Made Of, 90.6% over The Dream Is Over, 9.4, which is actually more like 9.3 because our listener Kyle had mentioned, whoops, I hit the wrong button. I did not mean to downvote.
Kyle, again, you've done that. This is like the third time in the third poll he's fucked up because he hit the wrong button.
Just answer me this, Kyle. Like, is it really an accident, or are you just saying that because you don't want to catch some heat? It's okay. You can admit it. It's like if it's not your bag, then it's not your bag. But if it is an accident, an oncurring accident, I don't know, man, check your fingers or something. But 90.6%, Corey. I think my theory was I think it's going to get all the way up to 94, not quite 5. But I was very wrong about that. Is this how the voting went for you? Did you anticipate this?
No, it's currently ranked 6th on the debut record, which obviously there's a Murderer's Row of songs on there, but 6th on that record. I thought it was going to be 95%, 94, 93. Yeah. The account, False Premise, who listens to our show, actually said, this is the poll where we finally can see what percentage of voters are just here to troll the podcast. And I think he's right.
Right.
I think he's right, too. It's just like
there's no way you vote this down.
Either that or it's just you're just burned out on it. I mean, if that's that into it.
I remember my theory was. I knew it. I knew this was not going to reach like the 95% or higher. I knew it wasn't because only this is a cover song. It's not an original. I knew, and I had a feel like for whatever reason in our time doing this show, everyone has been very hard on the album Diver Down because they call it the covers album. Whatever. I think that's an oversimplification. Yeah, that's true. Scott's right. We got him to talk on the show, so it's a great strategy. Yeah,
there's better ways to get us to talk about you on the show than fucking up the poll.
Damn it, Kyle! Join the Patreon like everybody else.
Throw us a buck. We'll read your tweet.
Yeah, just throw us a buck. It's fine. But yeah, that was. I think that was my theory. It's like it's not gonna reach the height that I think it should, specifically because it's a cover song. If this was an original, I really believe people would have voted it higher. But again, it's just a theory, just a hypothesis. I could be very wrong. I've got nothing to prove that. But history and the conversation we have had during the show would indicate that that was probably the way that it went down. But Kevin, the aforementioned Kevin Brown, podcaster extraordinaire, had some thoughts about this, being a Kinks fan, and he says, one, I never usually write manifestos, but I think as a Kinks lover, it seems appropriate. If a little self-indulgent. So okay, we're gonna indulge him. Yeah, we're gonna indulge him. He wrote quite a lot, so bear with me.
10
guys.
tweets.
Do I think this is better than the original? No. The original is one of the greatest rock songs of all time. It was written in 1964 and was one of the first songs Ray Davies ever penned. Moreover, he wrote it on the piano.
Okay. First of all, he wrote it on a piano. I could give two shits. I don't care if he wrote it on a recorder or an accordion. It doesn't matter.
Kevin, I love you, man.
He could have written it on his brother Ray's butt cheeks. We don't care.
He could have written it.
It's
just
not as good
tapping
as
on
Van
his
Halen.
school desk. Like, who gives a shit? Like, John Williams writes all of his compositions on the piano first.
Yeah.
What does it matter? You know that horn section is still coming in to kill it.
Oh, poor Kevin.
Like, I don't.
All right.
Anyway, but as he,
Back to Mark. I'm going to put you back in solo mode so I can take a little nap because you got like 8 more
Okay.
tweets to go.
I know I've got a while, so bear with me. Dave Davies realized almost immediately that it would sound better on guitar. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Kevin's comments. 2 chords, 5 notes, and it moved the needle on rock music forever. Wow, you are giving a lot of credit to. Okay. Now, Van Halen's version is as good of a cover as one of the all-time great songs can be, but like Paranoid, Smoke on the Water, or Black Dog, you can't improve it, quote unquote. What Ed does on the song is a piece of genius, though. He stays true to the song, but spins it Van Halen just enough. It's a masterclass in performance. As a mainly Sammy guy, this is maybe my favorite Dave vocal. But this is in his wheelhouse. It's lyrically about a groupie, so of course Dave gets it. And he nails it to the wall, pun intended. Likewise, Al and Mikey are just on fire, and they don't stray too far into needless overplaying. They stick close to the heart and bones of the original. This song also highlights exactly my problem with most, probably all non-Kinks Van Halen covers. Every other artist who they cover, they overtly Van Halenize and try to squeeze into the Van Halen mold. Don't you do it, Corey. Don't. They don't need to do that with this song because the Kinks are the genetic rock and roll ancestors. No Kinks, no Van Halen. All Eddie needs to do is touch up the paint and add some new curtains. With the other covers, he has to re-shingle, finish the basement, and remodel the entire ground floor to make it fit. That's a hot take. Okay. The only reason the Kinks aren't talked about in the same breath as the Beatles is because the Fab Four were good-looking and likable. Oh boy. Whereas the Kinks were fronted by a misanthropic, horse-faced genius and his equally arrogant brother. You literally just described Oasis. They hated each other, probably because they just didn't like anyone who wasn't themselves. Again, Oasis. But they were and are one of the greatest of all time. He finally concludes with excellent song, excellent cover, excellent episode, excellent guest. Here ends my white paper. Or is it brown paper? Either way, you didn't ask for it, but I gave it to you anyway. Holy shit, boy, did we not ask for so much of what's going on in this thread. But, Kevin, again, we love you and we appreciate you. And I for one, love the little mini manifestos. Okay, cut the shit off, please. Oh, it's killing me. I'm with Kevin on that. Having said all that, Kevin, this was not a manifesto. This was a digression of the highest order. And as someone who loves to digress and often can't help himself but digress, I gotta look at you and say, bro, come on. I vehemently, however you say the word, disagree with you on. I can't even hear myself think. Thank you. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. I very much disagree with you about Van Halen. With all their other covers, they have to build from the ground up, and they have to like put up the roof again on the house and do all that. Whereas with this one, no, they don't. And I would just say, I don't think they do that with any of their covers. I don't think they re-shingle and re-roof. They're not building a house, Kevin. They're playing a song. Whoa, are you bringing house metaphors into this? No. They're not doing that.
There it is.
Yeah.
Like, come on, it's fine.
It's fun. You know, I like the original song, but I mean, Van Halen's just sound better to me. So
There's a great story Dave Davies said when in the late 70s the Kinks played a show somewhere here in the States, and after the show the fans are meeting them backstage, and one of them goes, "Oh, Dave, you guys cover of Van Halen's You Really Got Me is awesome."
Yeah, that
Dave
pissed him
Davies
off pretty bad.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
oh yes, it did. But anyway, so we're gonna move on. But thank you, Kevin, for that insightful. We should have known ahead of time that it was coming. But
Truth be told, I bought him breakfast at that Denny's in Saskatoon so that I could rip him a new one when we talked about his manifesto on the Kinks, which is fine. It's a great song. They don't perform it overly great. Ray Davies' voice always bugged the fuck out of me. I tend to think the covers are usually better than King songs. I'm including Waterloo Sunset by Def Leppard in there too,
Sunset, yes.
Kevin Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to yell at me now because he hates that version. But I thought Def Leppard did a good version of it. Yeah.
But look, look, Kevin's in he's in the Patreon, and therefore, when he tweets, we guaranteed to read it on the show. So he's earned it. He's earned that manifesto, and there you go. So if you want to be like Kevin and
money, and this is the way you treat him.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Look,
I bought him breakfast.
We were gonna take the piss out of him regardless, and he knew
He did
that.
not.
That's why
I can report he did not get the moon over my hammy though. So
oh well then. Well, moving on, and speaking of little mini festos, our friend Scott Monroe says it's pop metal perfection. This Van Halenized song transcends the original and should be in the conversation for the best rock cover of all time, period. And for me, it's bulletproof against being overplayed. I can't explain why, it just is. Everyone is so tight and locked in. Eddie Van Halen's his flourishes are joyful sass, a la the girl in the song, to David Lee Roth's attitude-infused vocals. We also get an iconic breakdown that builds up to a crazy man shriek for the ages and an explosive concert ending. This song really gets me. Hashtag what dreams are made of. Beautifully stated. Beautifully. I mean, there's nothing I could add to that. I mean, Scott nails it. I appreciate Kevin's perspective, but Scott nails it. So there you have it. Thank you, Scott. Rava Flav says, as a teenager in New York listening to FM radio, this song and Jamie's Crying were the ones that I heard first. Since AOR radio was still current, you would still hear the Kinks version just as often. Van Halen's version is a swaggering take, and yet another with that great Eddie Van Halen solo intro. Absolutely, it is. I mean, it just works. That's what it is, man. It's the swagger of how they perform the cover. That's I think, not to mention they have the benefit of at that time modern technology to help the tone sound a lot better than the Kinks. But I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Brad Gould says, quintessential Van Halen. The sound is raw. The notes hang in the dead space, giving this song an authentic feel and vibe. The harmonies are perfect. Alex shines, but hearing that raw driving rhythm right after Eruption is Eddie Van Halen whipping his out and daring anyone to compare. Hashtag what dreams are made of. Yes, first dig joke of the night. Awesome. Jeff Brewer says it's pop metal perfection. This Van Halenized song transcends. Oh, wait. Jeff Brewer is literally quoting Scott Monroe in his tweet. That's fair, because what did I just say? I literally could not have said it any better than Scott did. So Jeff decided not to even bother. He's just going to quote Scott Monroe, and he gave him credit. So thanks for that, Jeff, and thank you again, Scott. Davey Lee Smith, friend of the show, says, one of the best cover songs of all time, in my opinion. Hashtag what dreams are made of. Very simply put, there it is. And then we had, that's it. All right, that was our patrons. There you go. Again, you guys, if you want your tweets guaranteed read on the show, join the Patreon like Evan Brown, and you can just tweet as much as you want and go on digressions about, God knows what. And I'll read it because, he's a loyal patron. So you be a loyal patron, and I'll read, I'll literally read whatever you put out within reason. Of course, don't make me read something completely absurd. I mean, I'm all for absurdities, but help me out. So there you have it, you guys. What say we move on to our best thing in the whole wide world other than listening to Van Halen, and that is guessing what song we want to have and what song we want to talk about. Say it with me, everybody. Manifestation
Oh, it's a
time.
manifestation.
Woo!
There we go.
There you go. Take a
Seltzer
drink,
water.
everyone.
Does that work?
Perfect.
Yep,
Perfect.
that's what's going on. So, let's see. I
Only
believe
24 to choose from.
Yep.
only 24. We can read the wheel very clearly, and that is alarming. We go over to the Discord, and you might be asking, "Hey, you guys have a Discord?" We do have a Discord. You want to know how to get in? Join the Patreon. Anyway, let's see. The Discord people say, "Spanked ya wankers." That is what Chaz wants. Chaz.
Oh,
wants
you missed a
spanked
couple
because-
before that one, though.
I know, but that was just the first one I looked at, and I just wanted.
Yeah, well,
to
it's
throw it in there,
Chaz.
so-
He's going to do that
But-
every fucking week until we spin it.
That's true, and
Are
eventually
these-
we will, and then he'll have to pick another one.
Are all these songs the ones that haven't been picked yet?
Yes, those are still on the
Correct.
wheel. So
Those are the
Because I
ones, so-
swore, thought you guys did. What was the one that you saw on it? When It's Love? You haven't done When It's Love yet?
no, we did. Why can't this
Surprisingly,
be
no.
love?
Wow.
Scott Monroe says, in honor of Sammy's Best of All Worlds tour announcement, let's hear some Good Enough. So he's going to manifest
Awesome.
Good Enough. Kevin Brown, the aforementioned one, really wants to get down on the pop sensation of it all. He wants Dance the Night Away. I'm actually shocked we haven't spun
yeah.
Dance the Night Away yet. That's incredible to me. Jeff Brewer says, since Sam was mentioning Summer Nights, I'll go with that one. Which that is a fan favorite. You guys have been manifesting that one for a while. Eventually it'll land. Our buddy Michael says, going back with House of Pain. He wants to hear House of Pain. That's another one that is very much heavily requested. Eventually we'll spin it. Aftershock is the one Ryan Powell wants. He's going to miss the show tonight. Sorry, Ryan. But he's with us in spirit, and he's manifesting Aftershock. Tom Armbruster is going with House of Pain. So there's another one. And then Scott Everett, he said, hey, Sinich is an 84 guy like me, so it has to be House of Pain tonight. So there you go. Free for House of Pain so far. So then I throw it over to our honored guest, Eric Sinich, man. Hey, what do you want to spin on the wheel tonight? What do you want to manifest? Call your
think I
shots,
have my
sir.
pick. Yeah, I got my pick. Wouldn't it be funny though if the very last song chosen is "This Dream Is Over"?
That would be
That would be
hilarious.
I'm gonna go with maybe my favorite song off of Balance, "Aftershock."
Ooh,
Yeah,
another
yeah.
balance. track.
Although
All
I
right.
don't know, maybe I think Seventh Seal might be my favorite. But anyway, yeah, "Aftershock" I love. Let's manifest that sucker.
Well, there you go. So that's another one for Aftershock. So we've got some reoccurring ones here. I throw it to you, Corey. What do you want to manifest for the show?
Well, I tell you, I got my my copy of the collection, Volume 2, in the mail last Friday. The first record I spun was For Unlawful. Sounded great, save for 2 songs, which we haven't covered yet. And then I put on OU812. And for all the people who are saying I can't hear a difference when I listen to OU812 remastered versus before, it's night and day difference to me. I can absolutely hear a difference, especially on vinyl. The vinyl version of OU812 much better remastered. Yeah, it's been on my turntable ever since. I've had it for 3 days straight. So I want to manifest a song from OU812. I want to hear a little Black and Blue.
Yeah,
Black and Blue. Yeah, that's another heavily popular manifested one. You must have some really good speakers or a good amp to
Yeah, it's not
project
too bad. Not
those.
too bad.
Yeah, all right on. That's what it's all about, you guys. Yeah, vinyl sounds good, but if you got shitty speakers, it's gonna sound like shit. So always
Thank you, Michael.
keep that
He
in
says OU812 sounds amazing as well. Yep.
mind. There he is. Right on.
yeah.
As for me, well, by proxy, I'm not gonna manifest Amsterdam tonight because if we spin it, then we will not have another guest, and that would make me very sad if the other guest wasn't here for that. So not going to manifest it. Don't want it. Not going to do it. I want to hear a Sammy track, and in fact, it was mentioned earlier, and I know it's going to make a lot of people groan and roll their eyes, and I do not care. I want to hear When It's Love.
All right.
Give me the ballad,
Nothing wrong
all
with
the
that.
ballads. So I really hope they manage to throw that one on the set list. Maybe they won't,
I'm
but it would be
sure.
cool.
No, I
It would
think
be really cool.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
because
think it'll be
they've
good.
even been playing it on the last tour when they were playing maybe what 5, 6, 7 Van Halen songs. That was definitely one of them.
Right on. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Then that makes the anticipation all the more
Odds are
exciting.
good.
So,
Yep.
without further ado, if you are ready, Eric, Corey, if you're ready, I'm sure Sammy's warming up back there. There's 3 of us on the pod here, and how many lurkers we got right now?
6. We have 6 right now, so we'll shuffle it again. Ferris
9
Bueller fans,
times.
9 times. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, take it away, Mr. Hager.
There we go.
Oh my!
Oh, it's going to be a Sammy track, and it's going to be for Unlawful. It's Top of the World.
Yes.
All right.
We found the secret. We've been trying to manifest fuck album songs for quite a while, and a lot of the times we were just shit out of luck because the wheel she be like that. I found the secret. We have to just go completely away from For Unlawful, and she'll spin it. So I got you, Wheel. I got your number. Top
Nice.
of the World. Well, I mean, I've talked about my my love for Unlawful for a long time. It's the first album of Van Halen that I listened to in its entirety, like the actual album instead of just like picking little songs here and there. So I've got a special connection with this album and this song. So that's what I'm gonna say. Any fond memories without showing your hand, gentlemen, do you have of Top of the World?
You want me to start, Corey?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Top of the World is it's kind of it's pretty well known now that the riff is taken from the riff that was at the tail end of Jump, as the song's fading out, and then also Eddie plays it at the end of Dance the Night Away in the US Festival. Could be wrong. But I love Top of the World. I love it, man. That was, I remember when I first got that album on cassette, that was one of the songs that really stood out to me, like instantly, like, yeah, this is going to be a hit. And it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm so glad we're going to do this song. Love Top of the World.
The
Love it.
only track from this album to break the top 40.
Right. And then they released a live video and a regular in-studio video.
Yep. And there's also a favorite of Eddie's anyway, a guitar player on background vocalists. Anybody
Yeah.
know who? I bet you Eric knows.
Steve Lukather.
That's right.
Yeah. From Toto.
He had that one ready. He just
So-
like, oh, I know what you're about to ask me. I have the answer. Here it is.
Don't answer, Mike. I got it. Hey, by the way, guys, I just I got to show that I forgot this. I just got this sucker from
Very nice.
Get it up there closer. It's
Eddie's
the
looking
latest Funko you can get at Van Halen store. But check it. Oh, you're cool. Now there's another one I got from Ramses Rios, who's done all those amazing David Lee Roth animated videos. Have you seen those?
Mhm.
Put them up on the VHND. So thanking us for putting those up on VHND, Ramses made his own David Lee Funko.
Oh, look at that.
Look at this! Look at the shiny shoes. That's from the California Girls video. Isn't that cool?
Oh, that's perfect.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Ramses. Anyway. Where were
So,
we?
yeah,
Corey, go
you
ahead.
were talking. Yeah, you were talking about. It was recorded in '91, but they played the main riff in 1979 during Dance the Night Away.
70. Well, I think it's during the Osh Festival at the tail end of that.
I'm just looking off Wikipedia here, and it says the main riff for this song was first played live on the Van Halen '79 World Tour during
Really?
Dance the Night Away. Yeah.
Holy sh! How
So
dare
even
you.
earlier than we thought.
How dare you get that correct?
Well,
Yeah,
who
interesting.
knows if it's correct? It's from Wikipedia. I'm just
It's
throwing it out there.
Well, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
But this is one they're probably going to do on the Best of All Worlds tour, I would think, right?
Yeah.
Top of the World is a.
Yeah.
Kevin Brown says one of my favorite Sammy vocals, brilliant tune, top to bottom.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tip my hand, so I'm not going to say if I agree or disagree with Kevin. I've spent most of the night disagreeing with Kevin, so we'll see if I get back in his good books on this one. But Top of the World, and this was a big album for me in '91. I was kind of really getting back into Van Halen in 1991, so this track really sticks out for me for a lot of reasons. And I know Mark is a huge fan of For Unlawful, so you got to be pretty happy that we spun this one here tonight, eh, Mark?
Oh, I'm happy. Well, I might be happy. I don't know. We'll see. We'll listen to the song, see how I feel about it.
Fair enough. Well, let's
I
get
still
right
remember-
into it.
Did you get it, Corey, when it came out? I remember that on.
Oh yeah.
In those days, it was Tuesdays, right? New release.
Yep.
Tuesdays. I remember that. Went to the mall.
I got it at the Come and Go in Plentywood, Montana,
Cool.
on cassette.
Come and go. Come and go. Oh, that was
The old ejaculate and
Come and Go.
evacuate.
ejaculate. That's right. Ejaculate and evaporate.
All right. Speaking of ejaculating, let's listen to a little Van Halen. This is from For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. This is Top of the World. All right. Kevin Brown says, in combination, the best top and tail on a Van Halen record. Possibly. I also want to point out that opening 2 lines because I love that opening. I know if you believe in me, that's all I ever need. I always just love that opener. That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Sammy lyrics take a lot of shit, especially on this show. I love that lyric.
And Al's snare. I love the snare.
Oh, yeah. Oh, his drums
Drums
never
are
sounded
big on
better,
this
I think,
album.
than-
It's
yeah.
great. Yeah.
And we get Mikey. Boom.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
We got a great Sammy, hey, baby, at the we like, you can't ask for anything more to kick off a Van Halen tune, right?
Just feel good.
Exactly.
It's a classic feel-good Van Halen song.
That riff, man, it's
Yeah,
uplifting.
uplifting.
Rock and roll joy. Scott Monroe says it perfectly.
100%, Scott.
Michael Triplett also got it on cassette. Good man. Yeah, I had it on
Yeah.
cassette and CD back in the day. So,
Yep.
all right, let's keep going.
Love it.
I've mentioned there are specific things that Van Halen does that make them, it's like their signature thing. And one of my favorite aspects of that are the harmonies. And we talk about the harmonies a lot. And when I think of Van Halen harmonies, what immediately pops in my brain are a couple of different answers. But Top of the World is definitely right there at the list. What just that part of the chorus, the standing on top, like that.
Yeah.
Those harmonies, man, they get me every time. It's good stuff.
Yeah, man, it's just goosebumps. Goosebumps. Yeah, that's man, they were unstoppable at that time too. I remember thinking these guys are just going to go on and on because they proved that they could. Because at this time the grunge was starting to hit, and they were going to survive it. Them and Aerosmith. I can't think of anybody else that was able to survive that period.
Aerosmith 91 were arguably the biggest band in the world. Pump was a massive record.
Pump in '89, and then
Get a Grip in '93.
Get a Grip, and yep.
I tell you, Scott Monroe says Pound Cake is in the conversation for best opener. 100% agree. Top of the World also has to be for best closer. Again, 100% agree. This is a great way to kill not kill a show, but to end a show. And then he says, for a little while, that little coda at the end of the chorus there is so perfect, right? Because you're always standing on top.
Scott.
You're standing on top of the world, but it's only just for a little while. Yeah,
you're just capturing that moment. That's a Sammy, just reaching for that.
And it's
moment.
it's the way he sings it too. It's almost like it's like a throwaway melody too. It's like because for a little while, it's like he's backing off of like standing on top of the world for a little while. It's
life.
He's so in
it's
the pocket
dynamic, man. Yeah.
Throughout the verses, he's like so in the pocket. And by that time, they were just locked in.
Yeah, everybody has that moment where they're standing on top of the world, and you want to scream it from the mountaintops. But then you kind of just for a little while, because eventually that trough is going to come and a little rain must fall. But Michael Triplett asked something interesting. Part of a tough top 3 to choose from this album. My top 3 are I'm tipping my hand. Top of the World, Pound Cake, Runaround are my top 3 from this record. How about you guys? Would Top of the World kind of be in the conversation for the top 3?
Ranking the top 3 off the album.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't want to tip my hand.
You don't want to tip your hand?
Let me think here. I think it does have to be. I would say Pound Cake. See, the thing, I love Judgment Day. I
That's a gooder.
absolutely love.
It's a really good one.
Yep.
I'll
would
say,
In and
I'll
out,
say
I have a
right-
soft spot for.
yeah, I'll say Right Now and Pound Cake are two in the
Yeah.
top three for me for sure.
I got to go with Pound Cake, Judgment Day, and then Top of the World.
There you go.
And which is, I know a lot of people love Runaround. It's hard to
You
Oh, yeah.
love run around.
not put in the top three, but
I know.
Judgment Day is just badass.
Thank you for not picking Pleasure Dome,
Yeah.
which
Man,
I
don't know how to
may
get
hate
out
more
of
than
this
Spank. I
place.
don't know.
Well, I can't wait to get to it.
We will find out when we spin it. Let's get back to Top of the
we
World, though. All right, there's another line I absolutely love. For all you David Lee Roth is the better lyricist people, which I'm one of them. You got to give Sammy his props on this
Sure.
one, though. Oh, I know you want to touch. I got to have a little taste. I don't want to sink my teeth in that fine piece of real estate. That's a great line.
I wonder how the week before 2 weeks ago there was someone who was just very much angry at how we were fawning over Can't Stop Loving
Can't
You.
stop loving you.
And just absolutely hated the content of the song, the lyrics especially hated. Says it's absolutely Sammy's worst lyrically. Can't
Was it
Stop
Kevin?
Loving You. It
No, it
wasn't
wasn't
Kevin.
actually.
No,
Oh.
it was another guy.
Kevin,
but
Kevin really liked that song, actually.
Okay.
yeah. So I'm curious to know how if he felt that way about Can't Stop Loving You, like I wonder how far away, if that one was the worst, like how close is this one? Because I personally found Can't Stop Loving You's lyrics to be some of Sammy's best he's written. And I've conceded that Sammy can dish out some real bad lyrics. Like I've accepted that. I understand it. I mean, David Lee Roth does too, but it's fine. But yeah, as you say, Corey, but when Sammy nails it, you got to give it to him. And I thought he did in that one as well. And this one he's nailing so far. So I'm just very curious to the anti Hagars out there. How do you feel about the lyrics on this one?
I know we got some top threes coming in from our lurkers in the chat. Kevin Brown says
Nice.
Pound Cake, In and Out, Top of the World. Great top three. Chaz says Man on a Mission, which is a fantastic song. Run Around and Pound Cake. Fantastic
Good list.
top three as well. So yeah, keep those top threes coming, all you folks in the lurker chat. We'll read them out there. There's some good ones there, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
then Scott
these
Edwards
are
like, wow, I'm
solid
late.
lyrics.
Top of the world. Haven't we all had that feeling a few times? Abso-fucking-lutely, Scott. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah, no,
few, not many.
Solid lyrics from Sammy on this one. Yeah, you got to give
100%.
him. Got to give
Give
him
the man his
props on
props.
this one. Give the man
But
his
yeah,
props.
But that is a great line, Corey, as you pointed out.
All right, let's get back to her. All right, back
Well,
to the Alex Van Halen appreciation thread. I just want to talk about the pre-chorus or the bridge leading into the chorus. He throws in these little rolls, these little tom rolls that just add so much kind of flavor to the song. That I just, as a wannabe drummer, when you're air drumming along to this one, you put in those little rolls. It's so much fun.
Like a falling down the stairs. type
Yeah,
of
just
sound.
a yeah.
And Eddie doing in that particular chorus, the little tapping.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
And it's like it's kind of subdued a little bit because
Yeah.
your focus is on Sammy and the vocals and on Alex because he's right there in your face with it, and even Mikey to an extent. Eddie is kind of not regulated to the background per se, but a little bit his
low
performance
mix.
in these. Yeah, he's very low in the mix, but if you listen to exactly what he's doing, though, he's doing a lot, as you pointed
Yeah.
out, man. He's some great tapping patterns going on over there if you like really tune into it. And fret not if you're worried that Eddie's too far back in the mix. Like, oh, he's coming. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah. Andy Johns. Yeah, this is great production from Andy Johns on this.
100%. Scott Monroe says he alternates between Runaround and Top of the World as best on the albums. Depends on the day. When we do the ranking show, I guess he'll have to get his final vote in there. That'll be really interesting. Tom says that his top 3 is Judgment Day, great tune. 316, there's a vote for the instrumental, and Right Now. So 3 great tunes there too. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's get back to her.
Man, that's
all right, Mark.
Two-part solo. You know, it's just combined into one.
Yep. Your thoughts on the guitar solo, Mark?
It is not Eddie's most flashy whatsoever. We know that. And he's not going for flashy whatsoever. What's he doing? What is he doing for this particular 2-parter solo? He's playing to the song. And when he does it, he does it so well. Honestly, it doesn't even so much like listening to it this time, it doesn't even feel so much like a solo. It feels like this is just the natural progression of the music itself. Like this, of course, like Eddie was supposed to go in this direction. Like this is the movement now. This is how the movement is composed. At no point did I feel like, here's Eddie's time to shine because it's his solo, whatever. No, this felt like a band effort. It just felt like another member. That doesn't I'm not trying to diminish the solo in any way. I'm just simply saying it felt like an organic progression, and it flowed. It all flowed together very nicely. And frankly, because of the mix, it felt like it was a Michael Anthony and Eddie sort of like not a duel in the tradition of you play this, I'll match it, and then we go at it. No, it was more like here's our progression. We're both growing at the same pace. We're both doing our own little things, but we're coming together. We're interweaving. And maybe that has a lot to do with the fact that that Loki finale, so I'm thinking of branches and timelines and shit. But anyway, all that to say, it all flowed very nicely together, very beautifully, almost like it wasn't a solo at all. It just felt like it was another movement of the track, but that's how I felt about it.
Yeah. And the harmonies just before that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love what Alex is doing. The second half of that solo, I don't know if he's playing a crash cymbal or a ride cymbal or even just an open hat, but what he's smashing on the cymbal there during Eddie's second half of the solo, it's so, like, the drum work on this is so great.
Yeah.
And it's mixed so, like, Andy Johns, of course, has mic'd up some of the best drummers in the world, John Bonham specifically, right? But the drums on this record sound so great. I just love that. Yep. This cymbal sounds so clean on this record. So let's go. We got some more top threes here. Dream Is Over, Runaround, and Top of the World for Jeff Brewer. Can't go wrong with that.
It will probably change by tomorrow. I feel that.
Yeah. He also says that this song falls into the same formula as Can't Stop Loving You. They're both very similar to Dance the Night Away. Both Dance and Top are much better songs and not about Sam's ex-wife. So there is that.
Yeah.
And everybody is throwing out some love for 316. 316 comes before this on the record, so we're going to play it. After we're done with Top of the World, we'll hear a little 316 here tonight, too.
Hell yeah.
All right. Let's get back to Top of the World, though.
Doesn't get any better than that.
It really
Sammy
doesn't.
era Van Halen.
So he's definitely playing a ride cymbal on the outro there. So I'm going to say he was maybe
Yeah.
just bashing on a crash cymbal during the solo. She had that nice, big, loud kind of crash sound as he was bashing away on it. So
Very much
fucking
so.
phenomenal.
Yep.
Someone who's not also overly flashy in this track is Sammy. He's not doing anything. I mean, obviously the vocal parts are, he's in his upper range and everything like that, but not nearly as big and boisterous and flashy as we've heard him sing before. He's not going too over the top or anything like that. It just fits. So I don't know. I like the fact that he decided not to do that. Like let's go out not on a huge big flashy note. Instead, let's go out being on top of the world, right? Let's just play something that feels good and feels right, cohesive. Jeff said, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, he's all right. He's pretty good. Yeah, but
Yeah, the song
I like
sounds
that.
like it just sounds like it all came together so easily. It's like
It really does. Yeah. Just and I really love the cover of the single. I'll bring it up here.
Oh,
where they're
yeah.
all
oh
just
yeah,
kinda-
isn't that cool? Yeah. That's cool. That's in the inside of the I know the cassette has it on the inside. That's
Good
what's
stuff,
going
man. There it is.
on.
Top of the World from For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. Another one off that beloved album that we enjoy so much, and we've heard only just a few songs from it, so we've got more to come. But until that time, let's break it down. Finally, Eric Sinich, our honored guest, honored panelist, friend of the show, honorary member of the show. We'll go ahead and say that. You're with us. You got Top of the World. Tell me, is it What Dreams Are Made Of, or is
Oh, Eric.
Oh yes.
Eric, how could you? You're the Van Halen guy. Oh no.
You
Oh wait, no. What is this?
There you go. Nice. Absolutely thumbs up. A no-brainer. Didn't even have to think about it.
Corey's got jokes for days. So there you go. Simply put, it's
Right up
no
there
brainer.
with Josephina. You know.
Oh boy,
Right up there, Josephina. That too.
Yeah.
that's a
I
statement.
saw that on the wheel. That one's still hanging out.
I know,
It
I
is,
know,
yeah.
I know. It just
I was so
that'll be
relieved
the
that
one.
that didn't come up. I was
That'll be the last one.
That'll be the last one we spin, because like that's just how this show has gone for us. Just like
Yeah.
we'll end it on that note. But anyway,
What's going to
I
happen,
mean,
Mark? You're going to go to the Extreme show. Gary's going to
Yeah.
see your shirt. He's going to invite you backstage to ask you about it. You're going to get him on the show for our last ever episode, and we're going to spin Josephina, and he's going to have to talk about it.
man. Yeah, actually, to be honest with you, I would love to get his perspective on it before I listened to it, because I haven't heard Josephine. I don't know what I'm in
That's
for.
it's about his mom.
Yeah.
It's about
So,
his mom.
oh, okay. All right. Well, then
what would you do, Mark, if during the concert all of a sudden you see Sharon say, "Hey, come on up," and he wants you to sing "Beautiful Girls"?
I'd be like, bro, I don't know this all that well, and you really don't want me singing it. It's like, can we do another song? Can we pick a different one? Not
Hey,
this
Gary,
one.
I'm a big fan. You want to sing Beautiful Girls? No.
And then I like, nope. And then I just crowd surf, like stage dive into the crowd and be lost in the darkness.
I'll do more than
That's,
words. Can I do that
Oh
one?
my
Can I do
God.
Wholehearted?
Right? It's like, can we do that? Can we like literally pick another song anyway? But Corey, I ask you, Top of
Oh
the
my
World,
goodness.
is it in your top 3, or before that, is it What Dreams Are Made Of, or is the dream over?
Top 3 from this record. Top 5, maybe, Sammy Van Halen tunes. Love Top of the World. It's one of my favorite Sammy Hagar songs. I can't tell you guys how excited I was when I heard. I was in Saskatoon. We're just done the Kiss concert when I heard that Sammy had announced his tour. And so I'm obviously looking. Is Sammy coming anywhere near? Because he never does. He's only doing 28 dates. And not even like a Minnesota. Like nowhere within like a 2-day drive of me.
He
So,
just doesn't like you, Corey.
He fucking hates me, and I'll I gotta talk. We're gonna get
It's too cold in
Darren.
Canada. He's all
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
No, I get that absolutely, but we're gonna Darren and Brent from the Bogus Oda show. I'm gonna try and get them on next week. We want to talk about their
Oh, cool.
interview with Sammy Hagar.
That's they interviewed
and-
Sammy. Yeah.
yes.
They did, and they just got 8th row for the Toronto show. So
Nice.
I'm trying like hell. I got some Air Canada vouchers. I'm ready to cash them in. And even if I got to sit on the lawn at the Budweiser stage in Toronto, because they're doing it on the lake, it's going to be a fantastic show on July 31st.
Nice.
Long weekend in Canada. It's a Wednesday night. I don't care. I got to see the show because I know they're going to play this song, and I'm just going to be deliriously happy. I love the Dave era. I love the Sammy era. I just love Van Halen, and I love this track. I don't see how you can downvote this fucking thing. It's just so damn good.
Yeah.
The musicianship is top notch. If you're a fan of drumming at all, the drums sound amazing. The harmonies are amazing. You talked about Sammy just kind of toning it down a little. Like he's not, on Dreams, he's not taking it higher and higher and like trying to blow his voice out.
Right.
He could sing this song at its original key today and make it sound fantastic. I don't see how you can vote any other way, but Mark Meyer, you've surprised me before. You have not tipped your hand in this episode. You have not given us your top three from For Unlawful, other than to say right now would be in there for sure. But what is your official vote? Is this what dreams are made of, or is the dream over?
You know what I
Reveal.
think you need to do a remastered version of those sound bites now.
I should, yes.
You
Good
really
call.
should.
Yeah.
I really should.
Very true, yeah. But huge reveal. Yes. Top of the world right now. Pound Cake. Those are my top three from For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. I know, shocker. Everything you said, everything we've talked about, everything in the chat. Like this is just a feel good Van Halen tune, which is something that nobody does it better than them. When they do a song that just makes you feel good, and it's uplifting too. Like sometimes with Dave songs, even though it's like party rock and it's very fun to listen to, like the music is very fun. Sometimes the content is kind of, a little bit dark or maybe a little bit drab, or like, oh, we're looking at it from a different perspective here. Not too much uplifting of the Dave era. There's a few, but there's not too much. Sammy's all about it. Like, and when he can like really nail it, he nails it. And Top of the World is absolutely him nailing it. And just as I said, he's not doing anything overly flashy. He's just being Sammy. He's just singing to the song. Eddie himself is not overplaying anything in the song. He's playing it just sounds like a natural, very organic musical piece. And maybe a lot went into it and we don't know about it. I don't know. We're not the rock experts. I wasn't in the studio with them, so I don't know. All I know is what it sounds like, and it sounds like they were having fun. It sounded like they were having a moment of clarity, if you will, of saying like, man, look what we did. This album, like, look, let's put a stamp on how proud we are of this album. Final stamp, Top of the World. We're feeling on top of the world for a little while. But we're on top of the world, and that's a good feeling. And everyone should be so lucky to feel that way sometimes. So absolutely Top of the World, what dreams are made of, to the shocker of no one. And the polls, I'm sure, will reflect very poorly. But
Oh my goodness.
it is what it is. And speaking of poorly, me playing this game.
That's
Actually,
right. It's
no.
time
Oh,
to
yes, that's right. We got to do all
So,
this.
Mark-
Great.
Mark Meyer says that every fucking week, and he's won like the last 12 weeks, I swear.
I'm on a roll.
Yeah, he has destroyed everybody. So it's time to play. How many times did Van Halen perform Top of the World live in concert? Mark Meyer, you're the defending champion. How many times do you think Van Halen performed this song? Remember, Price is Right rules. You got to get closest to without going over.
Well, see, now you got me up against the
man himself,
Eric
that's
Sinnage.
right.
So yeah, like I'm gonna say a number, and he's just gonna like, absolutely not. It's this, and just get it.
I'm
all
glad
right,
you're
Top of the
starting
World.
first, so I can.
Yeah, and just to be clear, we're talking about Van Halen specifically, not Sammy.
Yes,
So
Right.
not Sammy.
I just want to
just
throw
Van
that
Halen.
in there because,
Yep,
like,
good
if
call.
I know. All right. I think they probably have played Top of the World. At the very least, I think they've played it 115 times.
115 times. All right, Eric Sinnage. You could go 116 just to piss him off if you think it's over. But how many times do you think Van Halen performed Top of the World?
Man. The 91 tour, the 93 tour, and the 95 tour, they played it nightly. I'm pretty positive, if not. On the 93 tour, I think nightly, but I could be wrong. And then the 04 tour. Scott, I'm going. What'd you say again, Mark?
115.
115. I'm going 200.
200?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, Eric Senich.
I knew it. That's all there is to it.
That's all there is to it. All right.
Just like that.
A winner.
Right, don't go away.
What's the number?
The correct answer is 301 times.
Yeah, I was thinking it's really high because they played it nightly for
Yep.
That whole 91 tour to support the album, and then that
91 and 92 and 93 and then 95 and then 2004 they played it another 79 times. So Kevin Brown guessed 225. Scott Everett guessed 300.
300.
He would have won both showcases because he got within one. So
Yeah.
Scott Everett wins tonight. Michael Triplett guessed 170. But yeah, Scott Everett, good on you, sir. Mark Meyer is going to send you a sticker or something. An
no
autographed
Sharon.
picture
I
of
don't think
himself.
Sharon there ever.
No, Sharon never did, I don't think. No.
Which is interesting. They could have.
That is
Closest guest ever? I believe it is the closest guest ever. That's right. Mark Meyer is going to record your answering machine message for you or something. He'll sing you a song. He'll record it for you. You got to have a prize for getting within one, I think. Good job, Scott.
Yeah, nice.
I'll,
All right, I
send you a recording of me singing the theme song to The Greatest American Hero.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I know that tonight's running long.
But we're not done.
We're not done.
Because
And
Corey is a sadist.
Yes, this is
Hey.
the non-copyright infringed version of Best of Both Worlds. Where'd you
It
get
really
this from?
is.
It's like a karaoke?
I'll never say it is a karaoke track.
Yeah,
But yes,
Yeah.
tonight we're going to play Best of Both Books. I promised to chat. We are going to listen to 316 as well because that was the instrumental that led into this one. But I have my copy of Red. I have my copy of Crazy from the Heat. I'm going to mix them around. I'm going to pick a page at random. I'm going to read a passage. You guys are going to tell me which book it came from.
Right.
All right. Your first paragraph, gentlemen, is, quote, and the ambition was to play the coolest beer bars being in Hollywood. Which book did that come from?
Dave.
Dave.
All right. Well, guess what? That's 1 point each. That came from Crazy
right.
from the Heat
Cool.
from David Lee Roth. Good job. All right. Just mix things around here. Let's go with number 2. Hanging plants, pink towel on the floors, this kind of thing. Dolly Parton's bathroom. Who was describing Dolly Parton's bathroom?
Oh, which one of them could have made it into Dolly Parton? I'm gonna say that's Sammy.
I'm going with
All right,
Dave.
one. Well, the correct answer is David Lee Roth.
Okay, yeah.
Eric Senich, you are up 2-1. By the way, it's best of 5, so Eric Senich, he gets one more right, and he will win this one here.
Be prepared
Because
for the win.
That's right. I don't want to be looking up quotes all night. We have another song to listen to. So talk amongst yourself while I find a good one here. I got to dig through these books.
I mean,
Go
it
back.
makes perfect sense that Dave would be the one to inspect Dolly Parton's dressing room. Of course,
How are
it's
you,
Dave.
How are you, Dolly?
All right. Our third quote. In the end, we were so late delivering the tapes that the album couldn't come out until a week after the first scheduled date on the tour. Which book did that come from?
I'm sticking with Sammy.
Can you read it again? One more
You
time.
betcha. And by the way, we're going to play up to 5. So, Mark, you still have some opportunities
All right.
here.
Okay.
In the end, we were so late delivering the tapes that the album couldn't come out until a week after the first scheduled date on the tour.
That's Sammy, and I think it's referring to 081
Okay. And Mark, who did you guess?
Sammy.
You're both correct.
Okay. Is he
Both
referring to
Sam.
081 Do we know?
I believe he is.
Yeah.
Hard to say because I'm literally just flipping to random pages in both books.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I could be wrong on it. All right. So far, it's close.
Yeah, you're one up.
all right. Your next quote.
Oh, Scott
At
might
4
be right. I think 5150 is he's saying it might have been that album.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
All right. Next quote. At 4 o'clock, we roller skated up to a phone booth, called the manager, and said, "I can make it." Massive hysterical dash to put together the airplane flights and the visas. Who? Which book does that come from?
Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
You're both correct. David Lee Roth, Crazy from the Heat. All right.
All right.
Nice.
Eric Senich, you were at 4. Mark Meyer, you were at 3. Eric can win it all right here. But Mark, if you get it and he doesn't, you will force another question here.
Ooh, I can force a sudden death. It's not going to happen, but maybe.
Your next quote. At this point in my career, I felt comfortable doing anything. I didn't care about my so-called image. Who said that?
Sammy Hagar.
Derek?
Sammy.
You're both correct. So Eric Senich,
win.
you won it. 5-4. Good job, my friend. Not shocked, I got to say. We haven't played
Nope,
that.
not shocked at all. I'm more shocked that I held out as close as I did.
Mark, you've been doing pretty good at games, but best of both books we haven't played in a while. But you held up valiantly against the legendary Eric Senich. And now, Eric, as your reward, we're going to listen to 316. What do you say?
Yes.
Let's do it. All right.
Is it just me, or does anyone else get Mark Knopfler vibes from his guitar work in The Princess Bride?
Oh, yeah.
Little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good
Like,
call. Good call.
There's
Absolutely.
something in like the way it's either the way the notes Eddie's hitting or just the way he's playing it. But yeah, it reminds me a lot of those bing, 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 bing from Princess Bride. But I love that. I've always enjoyed that track, and I've had that association in my brain for years.
Love it. Yeah.
Why don't you tell us
Wolfie,
about 316 there? Yeah, you're the expert.
Yeah, and he played it when Val was pregnant. He would play it for her, basically like playing it to the baby in the stomach. And he played it live without a net, you'll hear it. So he had the piece already written. But then when it came time to doing For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, he said, let's put it on there and let's call it 316. At March 16 is when Wolfie was born. And he used it when he got married recently. He used that walking down the aisle. That was the song that was played.
Hell yeah, fellow March baby. What's up, Wolfie?
There you go. Scott Everett did the same thing. Not going to lie, he held the speaker up to my wife's stomach when she was pregnant with both my girls and played this. Just a beautiful piece of music.
It is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It
really
is.
Yeah.
And it
You're
works.
what a great-
Up
Yeah,
against Top of the World. It's interesting. They're so different, but it works so well.
100%. It's inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
He says
Inconceivable.
Knievelable. And how about guys? We're getting close to Darren Falchowitz's new book coming out soon on David Lee.
You got to get him on the show?
Yeah, I want to get him on for sure. For sure.
You got it.
I haven't talked to those guys in a while. Yeah, we got to get them back on the show. But yeah, the Bogus Otis boys I'm working on, hopefully in the next week or two. we can get them on the show to talk about Sammy and the new tour and the collection. There's so much Sammy news right now. Love to get
A lot of Sammy news. I know there's a large portion of our audience, and then the people that just listen to troll that are very, very upset, I'm sure. But them's the bricks, and you're just gonna have to make do because it's all a part of the Van Halen umbrella as far as we're concerned, and we're still trucking along. We still got some tracks to go. Tonight was Top of the World and a bonus 316 with one of our absolute favorite guests and honoree panelist of the show, Eric Sinich. Eric, man, always a pleasure. Always love having you. So please do. First of all, come again. We'll have more shows. We're not done yet. We still got lots to do. Still got live shows to do once we finish some albums. So hopefully we look forward to having you return there. Please let the people know if they don't already, because we plugged it to hell at the beginning of the show, but go ahead and plug it some more. Tell them what you got going on, where they can find you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again. Always love being on. VHND.com, of course, is the website to go to for all the Van Halen news. There's been quite a bit, and I want to thank Darren Paltrowitz because he's been contributing a lot. The Joseph Sikora, I had never seen this show, a Stars Network show called Power. As a huge David Lee fan, but everybody and so many people have been contributing to the VHND site. So thanks to everybody who's been helping. But yeah, VHND.com, VanHalenStore.com, and of course BookdownRock.com. Just had an episode with Triumph singer guitarist Rick Emmett. Had a great talk about Kiss turning 50, Corey, with
Nice.
Martin Popoff. The author Martin Popoff, who it is interesting because he did talk about, he had a quote that made Ultimate Guitar website. My friend Greg Prado, who writes for them, he pulled a quote from Martin about what Kiss will do after Gene and Paul are done, and he actually feels that they should take like well-known musicians and put the makeup on them, which is interesting. Trying to think of the actual quote that he said, but here it is. What did he say? Taking guys like, he even said Wolfgang. He would like to see Wolfgang join a future Kiss.
That would be hilarious.
He says I could see a Metallica member in Kiss, maybe.
Really?
Yeah. But anyway,
I can see Rob. I guess just as like a joke. Like I feel like Rob would do it.
But actually, and you know what? Keep an eye out for. I was a guest on My Weekly Mixtape, and there's a guy you should have on. He's a big Van Halen fan, and his podcast is all about picking the ideal mixtape. And so we had to come up with the ideal Van Halen mixtape. So he's going to be running that soon. So looking forward to that. I think that's all I got, guys.
Yeah. Well, that sounds fun. Sounds not completely unlike another show that dives into making the ultimate mixtape, like Backtracks Aerosmith, starring Corey Morissette himself, one of his many podcasting ventures, and he's only growing. It's only going to get further and further along until there is nothing more than the CMPU. And speaking of that, Corey, please let the people know where they can find these shows that you're a part of and what shows they can also expect.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm in danger of being passed by Chaz, because he's got so many shows out now. I got to think of like one or two more.
He is rocking it. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, he's killing it right now. So let's go through. Oh, Scott Haskin feels attacked for some reason. I'm not sure. But I tell you what, a mixtape show, that's never been done before, except on our show, Backtracks Aerosmith Revisited, with myself and Scott Haskin, where we're endeavoring to create the ultimate Aerosmith mixtape. It's a great format. I'm really glad this guy's doing it with other bands, because it's such a great idea to come up with a mixtape for all these different artists, and like what best represents those artists that you would put on a mixtape. Would Top of the World make it? It'd make it on mine, Van Halen mixtape. I don't know about you two, but it'd certainly make mine. Let's see. Other shows on the Deep Dive Podcast Network. We have Backtracks theme music with myself and John Mariano. Backtracks. I should do another Backtracks. What should I do? We talked about ABBA. Should I do a Backtracks? Creedence Clearwater Revival Revisited. I don't know. Give me a band. Let's do another
Revival
one.
Revisit. Actually, Revival Revisited actually sounds really cool, and I would tune in for that.
there you go. Coming soon to the CMPU. But we also have myself and Kevin Brown. Oh, I'd love ZZ Top. They might be the band we cover on season 2 of the Ultimate Catalog Clash. Kevin Brown and I, we've already wrapped up Genesis. The We Can't Dance episodes have started airing this week. We have 4 of them.
Cool.
And then we're gonna reveal the winner of who won the Ultimate Catalog Clash. And then whoever wins between myself and Kevin gets to pick the artist for season 2. We've already recorded that show. I know who it is. And I know one of you, I think, is going to be very happy with who we selected. But that's coming up in season 2 in a few weeks. Kevin Brown, the amazing leprechaun Kevin Brown, also does the Tom Petty Project. He's covering Into the Great Wide Open, I believe, right now. Fantastic show. Kevin and Randy Woods also do Seaside Pod Review, covering all things Queen. Scott Haskin, of course, has Uriah Heep, the Magicians Podcast, where he covered every single recorded thing Uriah Heep ever did, including answering machine messages, you name it. He's done an episode on it all. I think it's 6,000 episodes on that show, completely archived for your enjoyment until they release another record or a tweet or whatever. He's going to talk about it. Nate and John, of course, at the Deep Purple Podcast, The Simple Man at Skinnerd Reconsidered, Terry T-Bone Mathley at T-Bone's Prime Cuts on the Other Side, Rye at Sabbath Bloody Podcast, Paul, Joe, and David at In the Lap of the Pods, Andy and Matt at Hawk Binge, Eric and Jonathan and Maiden A to Z, Daniel and Josh at Diary of the Madman, the Ultimate Aussie Aussie Podcast. I saw today they actually got Jack Osborne on their show.
Yeah.
So you guys,
Wow,
absolutely, yeah. So everybody go check out Diary of the Madman and that Jack Osborne interview. That's going to be fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Then we have Ben and Sam at Universally Speaking, the Red Hot Chili Peppers Podcast, George and Hattie at the Judas Priest Cast, Clay and Rye at the North by South Podcast, Greg and Jonathan at So Far, So Pod, So What, Quidnet and Volume for All, Sav, Nick, Steve, and Mark at the Rock Roulette Podcast, Chaz and Greg finished up regarding Lulu, thank God. Chaz and Chats are currently doing Rush Rash. Great show, check them out there. And Chaz and Wolfie are now doing Regarding Roger, episode 3, I believe, dropped this week, regarding Roger Waters. And then we have some of our favorite like-minded shows like the Sean Geek and Fast Fred Podcast, You're All Doomed, a Friday the 13th podcast, of course, the DLR Cast, the Bogus Oda Show. Go check out our good friends at those casts, talking Dave Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar. Booked on Rock, of course, with the legendary Eric Senich. Dissect That Film, Three's Company 2, a rewatch podcast, and Pot of Thunder.
Tom is suggesting Night Ranger. So there you go.
Backtracks Night Ranger. There you go. I would do that.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Backtracks
There it
Kinks.
is.
Fuck, I don't got that kind of time. Kinks have done 48 records, and only 3 are worth listening to. So that would be a real slog, I think, to do the entire Kinks.
That sounds like your next show, Kevin. So it's like at this
There you
point,
go.
it's a competition between Chaz, Corey, and Kevin on how many podcasts they can all collectively perform until one is left. There can be only one. It's a game of Highlander, but it's the podcasting game. So there you go. You got 3 Celestials devouring
Kevin's
all the
the Kurgan.
podcasting world.
How about a
Kevin's
backtracks?
Kevin's your Kurgan.
I was gonna say, how about a backtracks Vinnie Vincent? That's that.
Oh.
Really,
Just Invasion, or are we covering his few albums with Kiss, too?
you say, go ahead, whatever you feel.
Dealer's choice. There it is.
Hey, if I get to talk about Lick It Up, I'd be happy.
I think Chaz can chime in. Did I read something, a headline that said Getty and Alex are actually open to maybe doing more Rush stuff? They got
Yeah, that was a headline.
Okay, what did they say?
Yeah.
But he just said, they would be open to, they kind of got together and jammed a little bit. They did the Taylor Hawkins tribute. They played like YYZ, I think, and a couple other songs that kind of got the itch going again. And they've, I guess, just kind of jammed every once in a while and thought, we might be able to go out and do some. It's kind of a touchy subject when a member dies, especially a pivotal member of the band like Neil Peart. You're like, okay, what the fuck do you do after that? Like, how do you replace Neil Peart, right? Like, at least with John Bonham, you replace him with Jason Bonham. Makes a little bit of sense, but
yeah, I mean, he wrote the lyrics and the music. The music was a big part of the music.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, who would they have as a drummer? I would say
Dave Grohl.
I'd say the answer is you don't replace him. What you do is invite other drummers and basically make it kind of like this roulette of drummers come in and like plays on different songs.
Okay.
You don't have one specific guy. Maybe you have one drummer that does a couple of songs and then like interchange them. I wasn't gonna make that joke, Tom, about Kevin being too short to be Kurgan, but you said it, not me.
Oh, Kevin is
but
mad.
yeah,
The rampant heightism is a disgrace. Oh no.
I agree. You know, as a short king myself, I must agree. But yeah,
I was just
that's
thinking,
that's my idea. Get a revolving
bad.
door of like
Mike
really
Portnoy.
solid musicians. And
Mike Portnoy would be good.
he just
You get-
rejoined Dream Theater, which
did, yeah.
didn't think that would ever fucking happen, but
Right.
here it is. So, but yeah, Portnoy would be great. Danny Carey would be fantastic. You know, Grohl, absolutely. And then just I think they should do that. I think they should just get
Rufus
like
Taylor
Rufus
from the
there.
Darkness. Yeah.
Josh
Why not?
Freeze, why not?
Josh
you
Freeze,
know,
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, he does
Still right.
everything else. So
Yeah. Travis
you know.
Barker. Could he do some? Tommy Lee.
Oh,
I know
Travis could.
Kevin Brown loves Tommy Lee. He's his favorite drummer. I bet you he could do some Rush, couldn't he?
Oh, Tommy, I don't know. Tommy would have a tough time keeping up, you know, when he's lugging all that extra weight around all the time. So it's just,
all that
good
extra
God.
junk.
you
That's
know,
right.
it's like, you gotta-
Only Tommy Lee and Eric Senich can relate to that, boys.
Who told you? How'd you find out?
I've seen the pictures.
the BDE as the kids call it these days. So speaking of BDE, you know who's got some
man.
big old D energy there is the patrons, because we have a Patreon. We've talked about it. I'm going to keep talking about it, and there's nothing we love more than the input and the support we get from our patrons, such as Matt Lacoste, Nate from the Deep Purple podcast, our friend Rava Flav, Josh Caldwell, Greg Zito, Michael Griffith, Chaz Charles, Sean McGinnity, Kevin Brown, Per Lineker, Scott Monroe, Ryan Powell, Jeff Brewer, Ben Andriozzi, Tom Armbruster, Scott Everett, Heath McCoy, Janice Risco, Brad Gould, Michael Triplett, and Davey Lee Smith. Once again, all of you, so much thank you for all your support, keeping the lights on for us, you know, helping us continue the drive. And if you want us to keep on going, let us know. And if you guys want to be part of the journey, if you don't want to see us go yet, we still got some songs to cover. We still got some live shows to do. So it's not going to be anytime soon. We're knee deep in season 2 right now, but where we go after that is entirely up to you guys. So make your voices heard. Let us know what you want us to do. Season 3. That's right. That's right. Oh my God. We're in season 3 now, you guys. I'm crazy. I can't even keep it up. So if you want us to reach I don't know if we can reach a season 4 at this point, but you never know. We'll see. Like I said, let us know. Let us hear it. Go to podcastwillrock.com if you want to check out the backlog of episodes in case you missed any. But also, that's where our merch store is. I keep saying, get a shirt, not just for us, but for you. Get a shirt because we've got some lovely designs, mostly done by our friend Kevin Brown, that are hilarious to me, full of inside jokes. If you've been listening to the show any length of time, most of those jokes you will get. So why not wear it on a shirt? I'm dead serious when I say I want an army of apologies to Gary shirts just out there, out in the wild. I really want him to be aware, because I don't know. I just think that would be hilarious to me. I don't think he would find it funny. I don't know. The key here is to find out, because that's just the kind of chaos I like to live in sometimes. So head on over to our website, check out our TeePublic store. We've got lots of great merch there. Great shirts. Hey, you can turn those shirts into hoodies. It's getting cold out there. If you're in Canada, like my podcasting partner, it's already probably effing freezing. So get you a hoodie. Warm yourself with a hoodie. Get 2. Why not? Just get the complete collection of Podcast Will Rock wear, and it'll make us smile. It'll make us laugh, and it'll confuse
Especially
your
this
neighbors.
Yep.
Especially if you're watching on video. There it is, right there. There's
What's
the
that Alex one? What's the Alex shirt?
Alex
Is
Van
Al-
Hyundai.
Oh,
Alex Van Hyundai.
That was an off-color remark we made on the show. Like Alex probably drives a Hyundai,
oh,
and
Alex
so
Van Hyundai.
Kevin Brown,
And- yeah.
Johnny on the spot.
that's great.
As a Hyundai driver myself, I advocate it. So yeah, absolutely. Get some of those.
Eric Senich is in the Manifest Club. He called his
You
shot.
are.
You should get
Yes,
that shirt.
yes, you're
Wear
right.
it proudly. Yeah.
Never.
I do. I
forget the
really. I
Cabo
need to
Wabo
grab
call.
one of these. Yeah, I got to figure out which one I want to get.
I know which one you want. You want
Certified Van Halen expert.
Yeah.
I mean that one's literally yours. So there you
Yeah,
go.
no,
That's,
yeah.
that's
just-
when you need. You need the one with the
who's this?
Dustbuster on it, just because that's a deep cut joke at this point, but it's hilarious to me still.
Who's this arrogant asshole with the Van Halen expert shirt?
How about a ejaculate and evacuate t-shirt?
Oh,
Look at that
God,
lovely design.
That's the best.
That's the perfect one right there. That's
Yeah.
definitely going on the
That's my favorite.
going on the Christmas. The holidays are approaching, you guys. You get yourself some Podcast Will Rock merch. Get
That
it
one
for
great
your
was scary.
kin and your
Play
friends.
Splat and Bone. Yeah.
That's the one. I'm gonna get that to wear when this Sammy show comes around to Nashville.
Oh,
I'm gonna wear
man,
that one,
great.
and he's gonna be like, hopefully he'll see, or maybe I can get. I think I still got some pull with some people at Bridgestone, so maybe like at the very least I can hand a shirt. It's like just show Sammy this shirt.
I
just want him to see it.
think who did we make the request to? Is it Kevin who makes these designs?
Kevin Brown. Yep. He's our
Yeah,
t-shirt designer.
I think I got one. How about I've been in David Lee Ross temporary sex office?
Yes.
Oh,
We need
God.
a temporary sex office t-shirt. Kevin Brown, get on it. I put in like 3 requests. He hasn't done any, the lazy bastard.
Guys, if I don't,
He's
win
a busy
Pulitzer
guy.
Prize,
He's
I don't win a
doing like
Pulitzer for
5
my
podcasts like you are.
journalism on that.
Guaranteed
story,
Pulitzer. Yeah,
You know,
temporary
I
sex.
worked real hard at that. Temporary.
Nobody does the hard hitting. Like, what did I tell you? Walter Cronkite has nothing on you. No one does hard hitting news like Eric Senich. Who else broke the temporary sex office
Right?
story? Yeah,
I
like
mean, Jesus Christ.
It wasn't Cronkite.
What else do I got to do to get a Pulitzer? Oh God.
who do I
We'll
got
get
to
you
blow
there.
to
We'll
get a
get you there.
Pulitzer? There's the T-shirt. Who do I got to blow to get a
Yeah,
Pulitzer?
Who do I got to blow to get a Pulitzer? And it's just a face of Eric. It's just like, you know.
Yeah, me doing my
So
raw thing.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely let us know out there if you want that T-shirt to make its appearance in our merch store, because I certainly do. So, and then I want to see, after the apologies
that's
to
good.
Gary shirts, I want to see an army of you guys wearing that shirt. So be
Oh,
on
man.
the lookout. Holiday seasons are approaching. You need to get some merch. So that'll do it. On behalf of Eric Sinich and Corey Morissette and myself, another a twofer episode, special one, all for you guys, because that's just the way the wheel spins, and that's just the way we roll, because we are, and the podcast will rock, and we will rock you later.